I go out for one evening, I come back, and there's a lot of things to bring to you on this Wednesday as an MCN. Let's get into it. So first of all, there's a special profile pic and title which is called Superior Undercovers. That sounds kinky. But in any case, if anybody picked this up, it is a sort of, I'd say, I was about to say, it's a rare type of title or rare type of badge. Well, I picked it up, so yeah, and my battery's low, so go me. Did you pick this up or have an opportunity to pick it up? Put it in the comments, as this looks to be some kind of like, yeah, just beta orientated. Did you get involved with the beta of some description or involved with beta servers with MCOC? I'm sure probably a lot of people actually picked this up. Secondly, and going more into game, have you noticed a few things like summon a level? Summon a level there, you can click on level 60, whatever level you are, and you get to see the full scheme of what can be claimed, which is nice. And of course, when we get to this level 65 next, going upwards to level 70, we'll be able to check out what we get for free as part of leveling up, of course. What else has happened in game? Well, if you go to Deadpool XForce, you're going to be seeing something very interesting. As we know, he's the purveyor of the Splitterbuff, which if you're a Swedish chef, that is perfectly apt. But you'll notice at the end of the SP3, going right the way down, you've really got to kind of like swipe down halfway there, champ. Yeah, okay. Swipity, swipity. I lied before, now you're halfway done. Oh my god. You think Wolverine will ever return my calls? No, he won't. Now leave me alone. Next, going down, 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 down. Hey, you made it. Great work, champ. That was fun, though, wasn't it? Now onto Glorious Guardian bug fixes. This was a bit of a surprise. With Sentinel, Sentry, and Deadpool XForce going out, I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. These champions are alright. I haven't had enough time to play Sentry or Deadpool XForce. Played Sentinel. We did a video on Sentinel. I really hope I get a bit of time to play those two champions. I think it will more than likely be using them in the Carinas Challenges in Necropolis, to be brutally honest. You know, out of the frying pan into the fryer, straight into the danger zone. Whatever you want to describe it, it's probably going to be the case of it. But they actually went out bugged. Didn't realise this until it was announced. Well, you know, I'm not, by the way, guys, I'm still not staying up to 2:30 AM in the morning to get clarification on matters. I'm just not doing it. It's just I need sleep. Sleep is very important. And yeah, anyway, Sentry launched with 2 copies of the Friends synergy with Aegon and Persistent Force synergy with the champion. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. They've been removed, and now only one has one version of each. Sentry has now properly tracks solar charges on the HUD. Deadpool XForce launches with no cooldown on his Splitterbuffs from basic attacks while Daunted passive was active. His Spleeds now respect the same bleed cooldown as the basic Duodenum bleeds. Medusa is entered into this for some reason, all of a sudden. Lost the ability to armor break once armor shattered expires. This has been fixed, and now she can properly apply armor breaks after her armor shattered expires. So there's some very weird things here. I saw some people saying that this is like not good for Deadpool XForce. I don't know, like I'm sure that it's going to be, these champions are going to play fine. It's just whether or not you're expecting them to damage in the same level as what they were released at, and maybe they were more powerful than they are. Of course, if you're disappointed, then there's a problem, because you're like, well, I ranked up these champions, I took them up further, and as a result, they are, well, not as I would expect them. Then, of course, that is a bit of an issue and a bit of a problem, and something maybe, yeah, well, Kabam aren't going to deal with that. But I'm sure they're absolutely fine as they are. We'll have to give some testing to find out. Necropolis for the test, eh? And sticking with Necropolis being a bit of a problem, what about, well, Necropolis being a problem? Largely with Defeat Diablo, with the team tagged as Carinas Challenges being that said problem. So as this player Skywave says here, I completed Diablo with Void. My team for the run was Warlock, Void, Diablo, Moleman and Falcon. All correspond to the Carinas Challenges challenge of those particular champions. That particular one right there. And with other people being able to get through this relatively fine, it seems like there is a bit of an issue at the moment with, well, that. Void being a decent option against Diablo. The rest of the champions, I don't know, just there for synergy and also just taking through in a team aspect. Yeah, it seems to be broken. Maybe it's the champion that you take down Diablo with that is the issue. Although, someone says I cleared it with Howard and didn't get it. Someone said I got the same problem. And the clarification on the matter is what Kabam Crash said, which is, unfortunately, there's no way for us to fix this mid-run for a large group of players, so you should all just finish the challenge. We will complete the whole chain via compensation for anybody who did it before it was fixed. It should be working now for anybody that is not past the Diablo fight. Yeah, and I assume that you do the Diablo fight and then you exit out with it. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. It's scary, though, because I know some people are very kind of cautious about exiting the fight. However we get the rewards, here's my finish fight with Sunspot. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's like an extra bit of issue with this then. But I don't know. Like, should you have to do the extra fight? How I looked at it was like you have to just defeat and then it's done. And that's completely it. Maybe there's something more to this that meets the eye. Especially with, you know, you call it at what it is from a word sense. Where is it? It was the Diablo one. In Necropolis, Shang-Chi, Diablo. Yeah. In Necropolis, defeat Diablo using a team consisting of only Carinas Challenges tag champions. After that particular point, it's like, well, that should be done. Like, you don't have to do anything more. But then there is a bit more. Sorry. It's always important to read, isn't it? Because there's always a part 2 to this. Yeah. Sunspot. And then you got to do Sunspot using the team. So you definitely have to go like further. Oh man, I messed up on my video then I did yesterday. It's always important to read, isn't it? That's just the story of my life, just being in a rush all the time and missing that little element. However, the clear point is that Diablo-based objective, the part 1 of the part 2, of course, is broken, or was broken at that particular time. So sticking with the anniversary Carinas Challenges, there is something that, of course, is frustrating catching up, right? So Fox came into the game, back to the game, and said, I'm just returning to the game after a break, and saw the live stream mentioning that you'd need all 5 Deathless champs to complete all the anniversary challenges. So is it not possible to complete and get all of the rewards for someone like me without spending upwards of 20k units to get all the pieces I missed? Short answer, yes, and it is pretty damn bad if you think about it. Got to spend the units to participate. I didn't play for 10 months, and I'm currently 35k units shy of having all the champs. Yes. Very, 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 very painful. It very much is. Of course, the process is not great. Yeah. It's a slog. It is. I get it. It's not particularly. It's definitely not fair if you think about it from an acquisition point of view. And there was a point here. Like I hope that Kabam eventually adds a way to earn those Deathless champions through content rather than just buying them ridiculous amounts of units. While that's not an immediate concern, since I think people who actually earned them last year should get a healthy head start towards these challenges. For their effort, I think it's ultimately be the best for the game community if everyone gets the chance to actually earn them through content. I think there's a huge difference between making people who wasn't able to complete specific challenges a huge amount of units to buy a piece they've missed, and punishing people who weren't even playing the game. After all, there will always be more and more players coming to the game who complete, and that's the point, isn't it? Like, more people who come to the game in the future would want to get those particular things. And Kabam Crash did respond to this. He said, I completely agree. I believe I mentioned it on live stream when we announced the Deathless champions that there would eventually be a catch-up mechanic of some sort. However, it's not going to come until players who spent the last year chasing every piece have ample time to play their new toys. I would guess some sort of catch-up will start in the second half of the year of the first half of 2026, but there are currently no fixed plans beyond the understanding that at some point it will be needed. And that will probably be when the next rank up is, or next star age is. The reason I say potential new star age is that, well, when do what I'm chasing at the moment, because I'm chasing these Deathless champions, become obsolete? They become obsolete, therefore they're worth depletes. If they're worth depletes, then there's, well, more of a need, or not a need, but a more of an easy way to give out for less grind, less units, and less hassle to players. And that'll probably be when it is, or, you know, when we could see it. But yeah, you gotta wait again. Well, I'd say two years. I give it 2 years, just less than 2 years to get this new mechanic, to get Deathless pieces, because this will be the next catch-up method apart from units. So maybe save your units and wait 2 years. It's up to you. So following on from a story we talked about on Monday, where we brought in a community feeling about lower tier items not being available, and a learning curve for people that want to see stuff within the Battleground store not be removed, which unfortunately were removed. We're talking things like lower based items, tier 4 basics, tier 5 basics for Valiant players. I mean, there's a bad example, there's tier 5 basics there, but you know what I mean. Lower based rarity items that are important to certain players. 5-star signature stones were important to certain players to get. That of course got removed, and we were looking for a reason as to why. There wasn't an answer that was given to it, but then now there has been. I thought it was important to bring that in to response, because there's sort of some good news that has come about from all of this. So Kabam Crash said, "I haven't responded because I don't have much to add. The post announcing the changes specifies the intent, and the Battleground store is intended to become a more premium offering. What I will add is that we can't keep adding more things to the store as we add more progressions. The store is already too big. Imagine 10 years from now with 8 more progressions and dozens of new catalysts. It's just not sustainable to keep adding without ever removing anything. Having said that, we do want to make some of this store available elsewhere in a more sustainable way. Likely the Traders Outpost will be the spot. To your comment about near universal disapproval, I'm sorry, but that was just disconnected from reality. We have telemetry, and the vast majority of Paragon and Valiant players never bought the stuff we removed. That's what led to the decision to remove it. However, I do acknowledge this change has impacted a small number of summoners who feel very strongly about it, and as a result we are accelerating our plans to replace the relevant sources." So that's good, but where would they go? I didn't put it in the video. I think it's because the video was already on Monday's MCN. It was like 60 minutes long, and I don't like to make these too long. It's just there's a lot of context that people just don't get. People complain about the length of videos. It's like, look, there's context to stuff, and this is the context. I put on the thumbnail though. Where will it come from? Where will it be? What, Kabam said that it will be available elsewhere. Where? And that's the biggest question. Will it be rooted in the Super Daily event? Will it be rooted into other areas like the Traders Outpost? Will it be in other areas like the Loyalty Store? Where? There's always that kind of big question. And at least we get a somewhat open answer to say there's a chance that it'll be in a Traders Outpost or somewhere else. So we'll have to see what happens from this. Keep you posted whenever I learn more. Anyway, that's been the MCN for Wednesday. Check out some other content located on screen. Have a lovely day, and goodbye for now. Cheers.